My bad, y'all. My camera died, so I had to charge it. But anyway, so I had started deciding that, you know what, I really like the film industry, and I had started writing down scripts and so forth. And at the time, I was looking up to people like Mara Brock Akil. I think that's when kind of like Issa Rae was doing her thing. And when I started getting into different film spaces and stuff like that, I noticed Tyler Perry was always a topic of conversation. And people would always be going in on Tyler Perry. Oh, he doesn't make good quality work. His movies aren't good. He's not funny. The wigs, the editing, the acting, XYZ. So as I started to go to college and take film courses and really study film, like I was studying film, a lot of foreign film, reading so much books, the history of film. I started to have this kind of I want to say artsy fartsy mentality about stuff. So I was very critical of movie and television I started watching. So I was like, oh, that script had a plot hole, or the lighting was bad in this movie, or I started to be one of those people. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of Tyler Perry's work for the longest. So I started trying to create my own stuff, and I had a very popular web series at the time. And then everybody was giving me feedback like, man, this web series is so good, somebody should pick you up. And I thought I had a good web series. It was written well. We shot it pretty good. It was when I was in college, and nothing was biting. So I was meeting people in the industry trying to get my show sold. And I was so naive back in the day, and I didn't get it. I'm like, man, if the show is good, why y'all ain't giving me a deal? And all the different film groups and film meetups, like I said, Tyler Perry's name was like a boogeyman. Everybody would kind of use him as to what's wrong with the industry. And I remember I was having a conversation with somebody in the industry, and Tyler's name came up. And I was like, I don't get it. Some of his content, isn't good. XYZ. And I'm kind of going in on Tyler Perry. And this industry professional was like, Tyler Perry is actually a genius. And I said, what? And he really broke everything down to me. And after that conversation, I went from being so critical of Tyler's work to being a huge fan. When you're a creative, one of the most important things you need to do is finding your audience and your tribe. Once you find your audience and the people who wholeheartedly support you, and they will come to your shows, buy a ticket, buy your merchandise or whatever, that's when you could have a sustainable career in entertainment. Tyler Perry has figured out that formula. So even though you had a lot of other filmmakers criticizing his work, like I remember Spike Lee, and I didn't even get caught up in the whole buffoonery and coonery of Tyler Perry's content. It was more so from a technical standpoint. Okay, I feel the lighting, editing, camera shots, some of the storylines, I felt like it could have been a little better. But then what this industry professional told me is Tyler Perry's audience likes what he does. And when I started really focusing on it, there are so many amazing content creators out there that have the best lighting and amazing cinematography and acting, but nobody watches it. So if Tyler Perry created a formula that works for him and his audience is supporting him, he's already won. I think too many creators and creatives, we focus too much on the entertainment. We don't focus on the business. So I became a Tyler Perry fan. While I might not necessarily watch all his content, I started being a fan of him. And when I really started like looking into his background and really reading up on it, Tyler Perry didn't just blow up in the early 2000s. Tyler Perry had been trying to get on since like the 90s. And for this black man who, just like me, he didn't come from money. He didn't necessarily come from a supportive family. He didn't have an in the industry, and he made it for himself. It was truly inspiring. So I became like a huge Tyler Perry advocate and fan. So when I would go into different... Sorry, y'all. Somebody's blowing my phone up. Okay. So I became a huge Tyler Perry advocate. So when I would go into different film spaces and different, meetups and stuff, and Tyler Perry name would always come up, I started saying, I'm a huge fan of Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is a boss. And I would actually get into arguments with people because of Tyler Perry. People say, how could you like his content? His content isn't good, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, even if you don't respect the content, man, the dude is a lit businessman. And the fact that Tyler Perry owns one of the biggest studios in America, he has all these shows that are continuously on. And just from some inside information I know in the industry, like Tyler Perry has some of the best deals out in Hollywood. That's aspirational. While I haven't worked with Tyler Perry, I did work on his set a few times, and I actually was casted as a featured extra in one of his shows, but then at the last minute they cut half of the people in the scene. That's a whole other story. I was on his set. I forgot what show it was. I think it was on one of the shows on OWN. I was there for like the whole day, and when it came to shoot our scene, they cut half of the actors because they said it was something that was off. I was mad as hell, but it is what it is. I still got paid though, but and then I've actually worked with quite a few people who works with Tyler Perry, and they speak very highly of him. Is his content unorthodox? Is his way of filming stuff different than I would do it? Yes, but I respect it. So I think as creatives, we just got to learn to respect everybody for their artistic expressions. I don't think Tyler Perry's audience cares about, swooping crane shots and Rembrandt lighting and, like seamless. Like they don't care about, they just want to be entertained. Because I noticed like he has a big older black woman kind of church people type crowd, and what he produces they love. And I'm proud of that black man. And like I said, I really respect him for what he does. So I'm a huge Tyler Perry fan, and when I found out that he was possibly going to buy BET, I genuinely hope he gets it because he deserves it. And like I said, I'm currently in the middle of pitching a few scripts. Getting a show or a TV show sold in Hollywood is not easy, you guys. Trust me. I have been in a bunch of pitch meetings. People will say they love your content, but when it comes to like giving you a deal and cutting a check, it's a whole other story. So y'all just pray for me. And even with like the WGA writer strike going on, a lot of these productions have shut down. I was consistently booked for almost maybe like 3 years. And since probably like right before the strike in like April, March, I haven't worked on a set because a lot of these productions have been shut down. And the beautiful thing about somebody like a Tyler Perry is so outside of the industry that he could do whatever he wants, and he writes all his own stuff. I don't hold me to this, but I don't think Tyler is in the WGA. And speaking about the WGA, this writer strike is hard on a lot of us, y'all. Some of us haven't worked in months. A lot of productions are shut down, and it's sad that because the writer strike. As me as an aspiring writer, I work on a lot of sets as a producer, script supervisor. I also do prop master, art department, wardrobe styling. So I do many things just depending on the set. And the writer strike is not just affecting the writers, it's affecting everyone. So when production is shut down, everybody on the set doesn't have a job. And as somebody who's aspiring to be a writer full time, and my full living to be writing, directing, and acting, it's tough, you know? And I could only pray and hope that one day I'm in a position like a Tyler Perry in which he literally is a boss. Tyler Perry doesn't need Hollywood. At this point in his life, he has FU money. If Tyler Perry wants to shoot a film tomorrow, he could get up and just shoot it. And that's what I aspire to be. So I really hope Tyler Perry does get BET, because the one thing I also love about Tyler Perry is that he loves black people and people of color. And he gives a lot of people jobs. He gives a lot of, like I said, I personally know people that know Tyler Perry. Especially if you were like his inner circle, he look out for people. He really do. And I haven't had the pleasure of working with him yet. Hopefully that's something in the future. Yeah. And like I said, Tyler's a genius. So instead of criticizing him for wigs and stupid shit like that, and the acting is in that, look, respect him as a businessman. You got to understand, in his lane, he's doing his thing, man. So that's all I got right now. So again, comment, subscribe, and look out for more videos. Peace.